At this moment, your person is going through an intense emotional struggle. They are overwhelmed by the realization of how deeply they have hurt you, and it's become impossible for them to ignore the impact of their actions on your relationship. They see clearly that you've grown tired of the constant back and forth, and this realization is hitting them hard. It's become painfully obvious to them that your patience is wearing thin, and you're moving on to focus more on your own life, your career, and your personal growth. The thought of you detaching, of slipping further away, is driving them to the edge. It's as though a huge part of their world is shifting, and they feel helpless to stop it. For a long time, they felt an almost overwhelming sense of possessiveness over you. They wanted to keep you close, perhaps because being with you made them feel secure, valued, and less alone. Yet, in their desire to hold on to you tightly, they crossed boundaries, trying to control you in ways that stifled your freedom. It was never their intention to make you feel trapped, but they failed to see that their actions were doing just that. Instead of bringing you closer, they created a space in which you felt restricted, pressured, and even smothered at times. What they thought would bring stability to the relationship only pushed you further away, making you crave space rather than connection. Now, as they look back, they're filled with regret and self-blame. The image of you pulling away is haunting them, forcing them to confront the truth of their actions and their effects on you. They see now that their attempts to control were misguided, a reaction rooted more in fear of losing you than anything else. They know that they behaved poorly, that their insecurities led them to act in ways that undermined the trust and respect between you. There's a deep sorrow within them as they realize that no one else has ever loved them with the kind of unconditional warmth and acceptance that you gave so freely. You saw them for who they were, flaws and all, and still chose to stand by their side, giving them a love that was pure and unwavering. The silence that has settled between you both feels like a vast, aching void to them now. Every quiet moment stretches longer, filled with unanswered questions and unspoken emotions. It's like an invisible wall growing taller with each passing day, and the absence of communication is weighing heavily on them. They're haunted by the fear that if they don't act soon, you will move on completely, that your heart will no longer have a place for them. This insecurity gnaws at them, making them increasingly anxious, as they realize that this silence might be a sign that you're already slipping away. The prospect of losing you is something they can hardly bear. The idea that their delay could cost them the one person who truly loved them is devastating. Yet, in the midst of their turmoil, a sense of determination is beginning to take root within them. They know now that they cannot continue as they have. They're beginning to realize that if they truly want to be with you, they must change their approach entirely. Their fears of letting go of certain things, of making sacrifices, have started to diminish. In place of that fear, a sense of purpose is emerging, a desire to drop everything and prioritize your relationship in a way they hadn't been able to before. They're ready to take a leap, to let go of the things that held them back, and to return to you with a new commitment to making things right. They're no longer afraid to be vulnerable, no longer paralyzed by their insecurities. Instead, they're willing to make the sacrifices necessary to rebuild what was lost. They understand now that they can't control you, and that true love means allowing space, trust, and freedom. They want to come back to you not with demands, but with an open heart, ready to meet you on equal terms. Their biggest hope now is that you'll be open to them, that you'll be able to see the changes they are willing to make, and that somehow, despite all the pain and struggles, you both can find a path back to each other. In their heart, they know that returning to you will not erase the past or undo the hurt. They recognize that they'll need to prove their intentions through consistent actions and genuine respect for your autonomy. but they're committed to showing you that they've learned from their mistakes. They no longer want to be the person who hurt you, but rather someone who supports and uplifts you. For them, the journey back to you isn't just about rekindling romance, it's about growing into the person worthy of your love, about creating a relationship built on trust, respect, and real partnership. And so, with hope, vulnerability, and an unspoken promise to do better, they are preparing to return to you, ready to prioritize you above all else. They've come to understand that love can't be forced or controlled, and that the only way forward is through mutual respect and understanding. They want you to see that they are no longer held back by the fears that once stood in the way, and they are ready to give you the love you deserve. I feel an intense and undeniable pull towards you, a force so powerful it stirs something deep within me that I can no longer ignore or dismiss. You are the only person with whom I have ever experienced such profound, romantic love. It's a feeling that has grown stronger over time, even when I tried to push it away or convince myself it wasn't real. No matter how much I tried to ignore it, the truth remained, it was only hurting me more to suppress it. Not telling you how I feel has caused me nothing but pain, creating a relentless inner struggle that weighs on my heart and mind daily. Life without you has felt like an empty void, a kind of personal hell where nothing truly feels right. I know I am the one responsible for pushing you away. I see now how I unintentionally made you feel that everything between us was an illusion, as if the connection we shared wasn't real or meaningful. But, in truth, nothing has ever felt more real to me. From the very beginning, our connection has had a depth and intensity I've never known before. The moments we spent together left an imprint on me so profound that, despite the distance, I feel it with a clarity that's almost overwhelming. There have been many times when I felt genuinely frightened by the way I feel for you. My emotions run so deep that it's hard to describe. My desire to hold you, to be close to you, becomes almost unbearable at times. The intensity of it catches me off guard, and I often find myself struggling with how to handle it. Being around you seems to bring up emotions I didn't know I was capable of experiencing. There's a vulnerability you inspire in me that feels both terrifying and incredibly liberating at the same time. Despite this intensity, I feel an overwhelming sense of comfort and safety whenever I'm with you, a feeling I've never experienced with anyone else. Paradoxically, you have a unique way of triggering emotions in me, things that I have often buried or ignored. Your presence alone stirs something so raw within me that, at times, it's almost painful, yet I realize that this is part of what makes our connection so profound. It's as if you see into the depths of who I am, not just who I present myself to be. This connection makes me feel exposed, but it also makes me feel understood in a way I never thought possible. In your presence, I can be truly myself, without masks or pretenses. It's both liberating and daunting because you see me, all of me, flaws, insecurities, strengths, and dreams alike. Since walking away from you, it has felt as if my soul is crying out for your love. There's a sense of incompleteness, a feeling that something essential is missing. Every day without you feels like a part of me is missing, like a piece of my heart has been left behind. I thought that distancing myself would make things easier, but it has only intensified my longing for you. It's as though my soul knows what it truly wants, and it wants nothing more than to be reunited with yours. This journey, this path we're on, has been anything but easy for me. There are moments when I feel as if this connection was meant to happen, that it has been put into my life for a reason. Being with you often brings out the best in me, filling me with a joy and a sense of purpose that I haven't found anywhere else. In those moments, I feel truly alive and capable of achieving things I once thought impossible. You inspire me to grow, to become a better version of myself, and for that, I am deeply grateful. However, there are other times when this connection reveals parts of me I'm not proud of. There are moments when it triggers something so deep that it brings out my worst fears, insecurities, and weaknesses. It's as if our connection acts as a mirror, forcing me to confront parts of myself that I'd rather not face. Yet, despite these difficult moments, I can't deny that this journey, though tumultuous, has been transformative. It has made me face who I am and who I want to become, and it's all because of you. I can no longer deny the truth of how I feel. My heart belongs to you, and my soul yearns for your love. This journey may be fraught with challenges, but it is one I am willing to embrace because I believe that what we share is something rare and beautiful. Being apart from you has shown me just how deeply connected we are, and I know now, with absolute certainty, that I want to share this journey with you, no matter what it brings. Your partner finds themselves at a crossroads, contemplating the kind of relationship they truly desire with you. Memories from the past keep coming back to them, stirring up an intense longing that has only grown stronger with time. They often find themselves reliving moments you both shared, feeling each memory's weight and realizing just how much they miss you. The separation, while perhaps necessary, has left a significant mark on their heart, and they are struggling with the painful reality that communication between you two has paused. The boundaries that now exist, though healthy, are a reminder of the distance between you, which they find almost unbearable. This longing and the weight of these emotions are undeniable, and they're seeking a way to reconnect, just not in a way that would make them too vulnerable too soon. At this point, they want to approach you, but they are cautious. They desire to reconnect with a friendly warmth, possibly even a hint of flirtation, to feel out the possibility of rebuilding what you once had without rushing into something too intense. They're aware that their confidence isn't quite there yet to be fully open about all they're feeling. Vulnerability feels like a big step, and they are not entirely sure how to navigate that without risking emotional exposure. They want to test the waters, to re-establish a sense of closeness and trust in a way that feels safe for both of you, while slowly opening up to the deeper conversations they feel are needed for true understanding and growth. The universe may be orchestrating a gradual reconnection between you, but it's clear that this is a process that will take time. There's a lot that needs to unfold naturally, without rushing the connection or trying to force anything before you both are ready. As such, there's an encouragement for you to enjoy the journey as it is right now, appreciating the present without fixating solely on the end goal. In the meantime, there may be subtle signs, gestures, and synchronicities, a gentle flow of universal encouragement, guiding you both towards a shared path, albeit one that requires patience and trust in the timing of things. Although you are physically apart, your partner still feels a deep, magnetic attraction towards you, a pull that doesn't seem to lessen over time. If anything, their feelings have remained just as strong, and it's this enduring sense of connection that keeps them anchored to the hope that a future together remains possible. Currently, they are working through some personal challenges, particularly when it comes to their own healing and growth. They are aware of past tendencies, especially issues around codependency, which may have impacted the relationship in ways they didn't fully understand at the time. They now recognize the importance of building a sense of self-reliance, not only emotionally but in practical areas of life as well. Finding a balance between their personal and financial life is now a priority, as they realize that a stable foundation in both areas is essential for a healthy relationship. They are dedicated to making meaningful changes, and while the process of healing can be difficult, they're determined to create the space for a healthier dynamic between you two, one that allows for mutual support and respect without dependency. This phase of separation may feel challenging, Yet it's also an opportunity for both of you to grow individually, gaining insight into your own needs, desires, and aspirations. It's a time of self-discovery and self-healing, one that's meant to strengthen each of you so that, if and when you do reconnect, you can build something even stronger. They hope that in the meantime, you can both find ways to appreciate the blessings around you, rather than being solely focused on the absence of each other. Perhaps, this time apart is ultimately preparing you both to reunite in a way that feels genuine, balanced, and fulfilling. Though they may not yet have the full confidence to express all of this openly, they are hopeful and optimistic about the future. The attraction, respect, and love they feel for you have not waned. If anything, these feelings have been amplified by the space and time. They are silently rooting for the day when they can share these emotions freely and see if you're both ready to move forward together in a renewed way. Until then, they're taking one step at a time, allowing their healing journey to unfold, and working to become the best version of themselves. This period, while lengthy, may be the key to transforming your relationship into something truly lasting.